Hi, I'm James with Site Preparations LLC. I want to give you a quick overview of how we install concrete garage foundations and help you understand the process of what to expect for your project. Once a customer reaches out to us either by phone or through our website and gives us a little information about their project, we can usually quote a ballpark figure that they can use for planning purposes. Once they get approval from the township on the location that they want to put the garage, then we'll schedule an on-site visit with one of our sales reps. So they'll come out to your location, they'll take a look at the slope, the access for the trucks, and some of those other factors. And at that point, we're able to give a more firm quote on what the project will cost. Once you have the township permits in hand and leave a 50% deposit, we'll get you on the schedule to have your job completed. Usually we schedule jobs for the week of a certain week. So for instance, the week of October 19th. And then we'll call the week before that to nail down a final date when the crews will arrive so that you can plan your schedule accordingly. So one of the first steps is going to be to dig out the footers here. We're going to start by pouring a reinforced concrete footer in here, about 20 inches wide, 8 inches deep. So we dig the trench in preparation for that, and that's dug to 36 inches below the final grade. Now, if your township requires a deeper footer or something different, they'll usually let you know when you go for to get the permits, but make sure you let us know that information beforehand so that we can plan the job accordingly and dig those footers to the depth that your local municipality requires. So this is number 4 rebar. When we pour the concrete footer that we build our block wall on top of, we run 2 strands of number 4 rebar lengthwise in that concrete to reinforce it, provide a good sturdy foundation for the block wall. All right, so once the footer has set up, we'll lay the block walls. That'll usually be a day later. Typically we lay 3 or 4 courses of 8-inch block, and then the final course is either 6-inch block or a ledge block or shoe block, they call it, which has a bit of an inset so that when we pour the slab for the floor of your garage, it can rest on top of that. We'll start the wall about 2 inches above the highest point on the grade. So every part of the wall will extend a minimum of 2 inches above the grade, and we'll lay it level from there. And that keeps water out of your garage. Make sure it's a little bit higher than the grade around it so that the floor of the garage always stays dry. Every 6 feet or so, we fill the cores of the block with concrete and add rebar reinforcement to give your wall extra stability and prevent any type of movement there. So once the block is laid, we like to add a thin coat of parging cement. Covers up the block that's visible above the grade on the outside of your garage foundation, and it just gives it a nice aesthetic look, a little bit more finished look before we backfill the grade then. We fill the inside of the foundation with 3/4 inch clean stone. That's 95% compacted right when it comes from the truck, and we put at least 4 or 5 inches in across the entire foundation. Sometimes it'll be deeper than that, but 4 to 5 inches is the minimum. We also grade it using the laser transit to make sure that it's level everywhere in preparation for pouring the slab. So once the crushed stone is in place, we add some of this 6 mil plastic vapor barrier. That helps keep ground moisture from causing condensation on top of the finished garage floor. If there's a really drastic temperature swing, like 30+ degrees, you might still see a little bit of condensation, but this stuff will help take care of the majority of it. We add fiberglass to every garage floor that we pour. That helps prevent cracking. But if the engineering specs for your building require, we can also add some type of metal reinforcement as well, like a mesh or a rebar. For the floor of the garage, we pour a 4-inch slab of 3,500 PSI concrete. We can adjust that pressure rating upward if your garage is engineered for something different. We'll look at the specs and the drawings for your particular building and adjust it accordingly. So we can't guarantee 100% that concrete is not going to crack, but we always add at least one control joint in every garage foundation to try to prevent cracking as much as possible and to keep it at one location in one straight line. So this is the expansion joint, and then when we do the final power troweling, we'll cover that up, and any expansion cracking that happens should happen right along this line. We use power trowelers to finish the concrete once it's poured, to give it a nice smooth finish. And we'll also create a cutout for your garage door or garage doors in the case of multiple car garages. That way it's prepped and ready for your builder based on the drawings that they give us ahead of time. And when they arrive, everything will be set to go. Once the crews have wrapped up, we'll mail you an invoice for the balance remaining on the job. And at that point, your concrete foundation is ready for your new garage. If you'd like to see a customer review one of our completed concrete garage foundations, click right here.